the big loser has been mainstream media, because the trust in mainstream media is at an all-time low. I mean, they are laying off journalists left and right. No one wants to read the newspaper anymore. No one believes them. CNN lost all their big hosts. It's like they lost.
And they lost their streaming service.
Yeah. Well, that was hilarious. They dumped money into something to get people to pay for something that no one wants for free.
Yeah.
And it was like Anderson Cooper's book club. Like, what the fuck are you doing? if I was a shareholder in CNN,
how much? Only $10 a month? Okay.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Do you really think anybody's going to pay for CNN? Like,
no.
What are you offering?
Nobody watches now that Trump's not.
No.
I mean, the numbers they get are so small. That's why, it's platforms like this that are actually bringing the information that people want to watch. Instead of watching the fucking news like people used to trust in you, there's 6 o'clock nightly news, and I'm going to get this story. There's no more Walter Cronkites out there.
Right.
It's long form conversations that are actually informing people on what's going on.
It's that, and it's people steering you to legitimate journalists that are independent. The Michael Schellenbergers, the Glenn Greenwalds, the people that are experts in their field, the Brett Weinsteins, the people that actually know what they're talking about. But it's just a weird landscape that we're in now that didn't exist before, where we're absolutely sure that you can't trust the mainstream media anymore. We're absolutely sure of that. And even boomers know that now. Even the people that have been trusting the mainstream media their whole life, they're like, well, definitely something's wrong. They don't know what it is, but something's wrong.
Pfizer.
Yeah. Oh, those are amazing. Those compilations. Anderson Cooper, brought to you by Pfizer.
I was watching the playoff game the other day, and it said, NFL football brought to you by Pfizer. I was like, yeah, I knew that.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Well, they made a lot of money, and they'd like to do that again, and that's what you have to be really careful about. But what they're doing that again now with is Ozempic, and they're making a shitload of money off of this drug that essentially paralyzes your fucking stomach. It slows your body's ability to digest. It causes a host of gastrointestinal issues for some people, all sorts of weird side effects. People have died taking it, and they're pushing it. And they're pushing it even on kids. It's like a primary weight loss strategy for obesity. Instead of dietary change, instead of realizing, like, you got to get better the same way you got sick. How'd you get sick? You took a bunch of bad food. Here's how you get better. Eat only good food. See how you got fat?
Exercise.
You had too many calories? This is how you got to lose weight. So you have to have less calories in than you're burning. And you got to exercise. And how about start drinking water? Stop drinking soda. We had this chart up yesterday of how many people on food stamps buy soda. Like how much of food stamps is spent on soda. It's fucking crazy. It's like poor people just drinking poison, drinking sugary poison.
But see, that's part of the problem too. You look at not just what they pushed, or what they closed down during the lockdowns. You had what was open. You had fast food restaurants open.
Yep.
Like you had fucking processed food places open. But the food that's actually the best for you, oftentimes, is the most expensive.
Yeah.
So you have to find a way to, whether it's doing all out, tariffs on certain, extra taxes on certain types of products, or I don't know how you're going to change the farming system, especially with Bill Gates being one of the biggest farm landowners there, and he's pushing, insects and his what's it called, appeal thing that he's putting on all the fruit and stuff. But the problem is that in order to eat healthier, you have to spend more money because the shitty food is the least expensive.
What scares the shit out of me is what they're doing to farmers in Europe, like the Dutch farmers. And in Ireland, they're telling farmers that they have to kill cows because they have too many cows and they're contributing to the global warming.
See, the guy I think he was in Congress who was interviewing somebody and asking these, climate change people about how much CO2 is, and they're way off.
Yeah, they're way off. And they're making the decisions.
Yeah.
And they literally are it's completely ideological. The ideological battle, the demon that you're fighting is climate change. And we must do something to stop climate change. Meanwhile, India and China aren't doing a fucking thing, and they're contributing to most of it. Literally most of the carbon that's being released. Like if you look at the amount of fucking coal plants that China has, they're opening up new ones. They have hundreds of them in construction.
Wasn't that the whole point of the what was it in Paris? They had some sort of
climate accord.
Yeah, but it wasn't taking effect, or there was different rules for other countries, but we had to adhere to something that nobody else was adhering to.
It's control.
But that's what we've been doing the last. If you look at, I saw some something on X about like what they were telling us in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. The world was always going to end based on something, and now it's this climate change. We got to change the way we live in order for us to keep going. It's like they've been doing this for the last 5 decades.
They would like to control the food system, and there's a tremendous amount of money in controlling the food system. And if they could get you to only buy their food, and they can convince you that their food is somehow or another emits less carbon, and come up with some fucking Hollywood math that shows you that this is the only way to do it and this is the way out of this.
Well, I just learned something online that if you grow your own food, actually your carbon footprint is much greater than.
I posted that on my Instagram, and it got fact checked. It got fact checked. Yeah, I don't see the fact check, but if someone goes to my page and sees that, it says something about like partially true or not. Like, listen, it's a fucking article that was in whatever newspaper it was that I saw, and I was like, this is hilarious. Like, how is that even possible?
Crazy is that?
How is it even possible that it emits more carbon? You're literally growing plants in the ground which take carbon dioxide and convert them to oxygen.
Yep.
That's all you're doing. You don't have any heavy machinery. You're growing your own food. So you just got a little garden. So you growing your own food releases more carbon.
Do not do it.
I don't even know how they did the math. Like, how the fuck did they even say that? What does it say if you go to my page and it says it's fact checked?
I don't see a fact check.
Oh, it's definitely fact checked.
I just checked.
My wife showed it to me.
I know, I'm just saying I didn't see it. I just checked on my phone too. I don't see it.
Well, maybe they took it down because people freaked out.
Yeah, there it is. 5 times greater.
Blah, how's it possible? You're literally growing something that takes oxygen and puts it out into the air. It converts carbon dioxide to oxygen through photosynthesis. That's literally what it does. It's literally what plants do. They make oxygen.
Think about that. What if you didn't? What if you didn't have? Everybody's got lawns, right? What if what if you had your own fucking garden?
Yeah.
Like how different would things be?
Well, you'd be a lot fucking healthier.
Yeah.
You'd be a lot healthier if you're eating stuff that doesn't have fucking all kinds of herbicides and pesticides sprayed all over it. You know, that when they've done these tests, when they check people's blood, some insane number, what is it, like 90-something% of people they tested had glyphosate at detectable levels?
Yeah.
And glyphosate's nuts. Like, they fucking spray that shit on everything, and it's crazy. That's really bad for you.
I mean, you know who owns Monsanto, right?
It's Bayer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bayer, the same people that during the Holocaust were, I mean, the Brigham talked about that on my podcast, where they took these people that were in the concentration camps